All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Excited. It's Thursday nights with Mel and myself, Kevin. How's everyone doing? How are you doing, my friend Mel?
I'm good. It's just really cold here in Chicago. It's like 9.
It's freezing here in Ohio as well.
So I've got on my Aloha shirt because I have my Aloha shirt
Up to
cycle.
50,000 cars added daily
Oops,
on
it's
cars.com.
sitting
My
wrong.
apologies.
Oh,
I'm good. Sorry about that, everyone.
my phone always goes off too, whatever. But I thought that, uh, I'll always wear my Aloha shirts, but somewhere on my body, I'll have on something black until Trump is gone.
Yeah.
and this whole ice thing, so
Are
black
you
is
in mourning until he's in mourning?
black is a color of mourning, but it's also a color of grounding,
Mm,
and so it's also about grounding.
yeah.
um, I just want to tell people, if you want to ask questions, please put them in all caps so they're easier for us to see.
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to be reading on current events, politics. We have a couple of announcements and a big announcement we'll probably make a little bit later on in the show
Yes.
that we're very excited about. We've been talking about it for a while, but ready to announce. I gave a little hint on my community board earlier, so if you saw that, you probably put two and two together, but we'll chat a little bit about that later on. But
Well,
Mel, yeah, do you have anything going on?
can I give one little hint?
Sure.
Ghosts.
Go. Okay, boo.
Ooh. um, well, Andro Nikki, you got to try the products. ANDRO dash Nikki NIKI. They're incredible. We don't get paid for this. It's just that his products are so incredible. I put them on every day, and if I don't, my hands get dry, my face gets dry, and they're amazing.
Especially
Especially,
in this weather.
yeah. And so for my members, uh, uh, I'll do a drawing, and I'll 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 send a full line of all the serums and the moisturizer to a runner to a winner for my members, and then for my subscribers, every 3 months I'll send an Androniki product. And then I'll alternate months with my members. So 1 month somebody will get a full line of the skincare. The next month the mask.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, the mask is incredible. So that's that. And Andro dash Nikki Niki. Danube, I've got room for 2 people. I had a cancellation. It's on the lower deck of the boat. It's going to be an incredible trip. Uh, Iceland, I've got openings, but because of the eclipse, I think the totality in the Reykjavik is going to be about minute and a half.
Hmm.
I've got openings, but because everybody is going, is the airline seats are becoming scarce
Oh,
now.
I
And
believe it.
that trip, it's airfare included from Chicago
Mm,
round trip. Galapagos is sold out, but uh, I am waitlisting people, and I've got 3 people on the wait list. So if you know people cancel, not my group, please, but the other groups cancel, then we'll go down the list. So if you want to go to the Galapagos, it's going to be incredible. We'll be
yeah.
in Quito, then we'll fly from Quito to Guayaquil. We'll get on the boat there, and we'll visit 5 different islands, and it's going to be fun. So if you're interested in all that, call my office, 847-590-5411. Again, 847-590-5411. Kevin, what do you got coming up?
Well, I'll just say real briefly, your number and my contact stuff is in the description box.
There you
Um, so you can always check that for our shows. And just one other thing, I was thinking you were talking about Iceland and the eclipse. When we had our total eclipse here, and it actually went right through. I was right in the path of it. I was
Wow.
always, everybody was talking about how, all the hotels will be booked up all along the path. And I was like, for an eclipse, I mean, I didn't really get that. But then when it actually happened and I experienced it, such a powerful event. So I can see why Iceland's already booking up all of their flights. So that will be a really cool
We
trip.
went down to Carbondale because the one that I think was in Minnesota, I forget where it was before that. When we went, it was, I think, about 8 or 9 years ago. I was so excited it rained. It was so overcast, but
Yeah.
we did experience it because it got dark.
Mm-hmm.
And the totality was about, I think, 4 or 5 minutes. It's a weird kind of dark, though. It's like
Yeah. I had such a spiritual experience during it here. I have a hawk. Anytime I have something big going on, my guides send me a hawk, and it just lets me know that I'm on the right path. Everything's going to be okay. They're guiding me. And my hawk that joins me often flew 10 feet over me and my husband's head and flew off when it got all eerie and full totality. It was very eerie, but such a cool experience.
Last, I think it was 2 years ago, was it? Or whenever, or was it year? I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. Gary and I went down to Carbondale because it was totality. And it was rainy here, but down there, I just said, Spirit, please. And it was really sunny and warm. It was in the early spring.
Yeah.
The goggles. And so it was so exciting, and the countdown, and then it was like, they would show where the eclipse was already happening and it was coming our way. And see the sun slowly blocked out, and during totality you don't have to wear the goggles, and we could see
you can take them off.
But that was a weird kind of a dark again, but we saw the ripples, the light ripples that go on the black top. It's really cool. It was very, very, very emotional.
Yeah.
A lot of people were crying. I was. But Kevin, that hawk you saw, hawk is messenger of spirit. So when that hawk flew over, that was one of your spirit guides letting you know that it was a spiritual experience.
Well, can I tell you, when I went to Chicago for your event, the day that we checked in, a hawk flew right by me as I was walking into the hotel. So that's why I said it's always there to guide me. I always get a sense of relief, or if I'm doubting myself or questioning something. The hawk's always like that validation that I need.
I'm paying attention. Everybody, please, again, put your questions in all caps, because the reason I'm looking over here at the screen is I'm starring the questions, a little star by it, so that we can see them. So please put them in all caps.
Yes, please. And so for myself, what I have going on, real briefly, we'll get started. I have openings for my Holy Fire Reiki Level 1 and 2 class, March 28th and April 11th. And I am teaching the Holy Fire Master Level class, April 24th through 26th. I think I only have 1 or 2 spots left open for that. So if you're interested, I do have a deposit option to secure your spot. That's all on the website. You can check that out. If you have any questions, should be on the website, but you can feel free to send me an email. And I do also have some openings for readings, Reiki sessions. I do a combination of both, and I do have some availability for February. One last thing, I always like to remind people, helps us out tremendously if you can hit that thumbs up. Please check, make sure you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed to Mel's channel, please go over there and support him. Sometimes the hype button will work. It's kind of like off and on for me. So if you can hype the video, that's great. Or even just leave a positive comment after the video is posted. It really helps us out tremendously with the YouTube algorithms. So
I see Becky Gilberto in the house. When I said everybody put your things in capital letters, Becky's got a great sense of humor. She wrote picky, picky, picky.
That's funny.
I see you, Becky. Hello. Becky's coming with us on our trip.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Becky's so much fun on our trip. And everybody, I have to say, somebody put here, and I got to show this if it's okay, that Kevin is a great teacher,
Oh,
Garden,
thank you, Teresa.
and he is a great teacher. You know, when he came to Chicago, when I'm talking about you like you're not here. When you came to Chicago, people commented on how they enjoy the class and what an excellent teacher that you are. So,
Oh, that's nice. I really take my responsibility as a teacher very seriously, especially with the Reiki training that I do. But it feels so good, and really just aligns me to my purpose to be able to share healing energy and life changing energy with my students. So
yep. Well, you do a great job at it. So,
thank you, and you too, my friend. You're an excellent teacher as well.
I see Lisa Foster. Hi, Lisa.
All right.
All right, I've got a bunch of them starred for you here, Kevin.
Let's get started. Can I actually just share before I had a really strong hit yesterday, and I shared it on my live, but um, I don't know if you're picking up something similar too, but it came through so strongly. I hope I'm wrong, but I was right after I finished a reading with one of my clients. I actually had a vision of somebody with a mask on, with a gun running through a big city, and so I feel like there's going to be another either significant terror incident or even some kind of big attack that they're bringing my attention to in a big city. So again, I hope I'm wrong with that, but it just came through so strong.
Well, many of us have been predicting as well something happening that will be very much like Kent State. And for those who are younger who don't know what Kent State was, I think it was in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. There were student protesters, and the National Guard opened fire. And I forget how many students were killed. And that brought about a lot of legislation about National Guard and about, the protests in the 60s and the 70s really brought a great deal of positive social change. So anyway, I hope I'm wrong on that prediction as well.
Others in the chat have said that they're feeling something similar too. And, again, the intention's not to spread fear, but just for people to be prepared.
Yeah, I think, people were asking me if the people that have been unfortunately killed already by, Trump's Gestapo, if that's what I was saying. And I just see something more akin to Kent State coming, and I pray that I'm wrong.
We both have been saying that since he got in.
Right.
And it would be some kind of excuse to try to declare the Insurrection Act or martial law.
Martial law.
But I feel like if he does something like that, I know he does so much awful, and I do feel like if it was something like that, we would actually, enough Republicans would have him removed. So. All right. So I had that. I do also feel some more seismic activity, and it feels like a pretty significant volcano. My guides were showing me like a chain reaction with that too. Like one goes in a location, then a volcano somewhere else, and then another earthquake. So between that and all this crazy weather, it's just going to be very active. So. All right.
Well, look at this crazy weather we're having.
Oh, I know. And I think they're talking about like another development kind of coming in. I think they were talking about a bomb cyclone.
There's a nor'easter coming in.
Okay.
And, when I first moved to Chicago, way, many, many years ago, I'm telling my age, it would snow sometimes in October, November, and we wouldn't see the grass again until spring. It would get really cold. We haven't had a bad winter here for the last 4 or 5 years.
Same here.
But these Arctic temperatures here have been, usually if we get a cold snap, within 5 or 6 days, it's over. But this has just been prolonged. My feeling is the weather here is going to get, well, it's supposed to warm up a little bit, but then like in the 20s, which is kind of normal for winter here. But I think this cold snap is going to last a long time.
Yeah.
I had predicted we have a bad winter, and here we are. So,
And cold and winter conditions in places that don't normally receive them.
but in a way, this cold winter, in a way, it's a good thing because in Minnesota and here in Chicago, we're used to these kind of conditions, and we're used to being out in it. Ice agents are not, and you know. I think the cold weather will help curb some ice activity. No pun intended.
Yeah. All right. Somebody asked if they missed the announcement. We're going to do it a little bit later on. Let some more people join us. So, well, hang in there. We'll talk about the big announcement here soon. So,
10 degrees in Cleveland, Lisa Hathaway says. Wow.
yes, it's cold. It's been cold. I've been hibernating. So let's pull this up because I did see this going on yesterday, and I'd love your thoughts. Did you see how Trump sent the FBI into Georgia to take the voter information for the 2020 election?
Yes, I did. And who was that? Tulsi Gabbard was there.
Oh yeah, Tulsi was there too.
Well, number one, it's illegal.
Yeah,
I see that going to court. And the courts are going to say he can't do it. But once he's got it, he's got it.
they already got it. They don't know where all the stuff's at.
And I see another issue. There's just one more nail in the coffin for Kash Patel because he's going to end up in jail for obstruction of justice, abuse of power, all of that. You know, the reason he did it in Georgia is because we have those roles. You see, I really, really did win the election. And it's his way of going against Fani Willis. That's what he's trying to do. But he's also doing this as a diversion. He will do anything to create a diversion to take our eyes off the things we should really be seeing. And what's that? The Jack Smith's testimony and the Epstein files.
Well, and it's also a bigger plan too. Well, it fits into his narrative so that they can go change information or say, well, look, we found fraudulent votes, just to kind of, distract. But it's also a plan too on how they can try to get away with manipulating further elections. I mean, what was it? Bondi told Tim Walz that if we'll remove ICE agents from your thing if we can have access to your voter rolls.
Right. But what he did in Georgia won't work because the people in Georgia and everybody else is going to get sick of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I see safeguards put in place where he can't do that anymore. He's just going to try to use that information, you're right, to mess with the election because he's so nervous about losing the midterms. I mean, my guides are telling me he'll go down as the most corrupt, vile president in American history.
Oh, for sure. Well, and it's also, too, sending out his personal military to cause terror. So when elections come, they can interfere and take things. The thing that gives me hope is I could be wrong. Timing's not the easiest to predict, but I really don't think he will even be in office come midterms. I did readings with Ness earlier this week, and she says that February is the worst month out of the year for his health. And I keep picking up something major happening with the health. A fall. I even feel like I think he's had a mini procedure in the past, but something very significant. We can all see it too. He looks god awful.
Well, I heard there was some kind of speech he made about how wonderful his health is, and it's just the aspirins he's taking. Well, that does cause bruising.
Yeah.
But, he doth protest too much. I don't see him finishing his full term as president, and I keep having a dream Trump is dead.
Yeah, and I had a vision of the same, him transitioning, and I don't know if it's this year. I actually think it might be next year, but he would not be alive to finish out his term, even if he's not removed before then.
And plus, I think, once the regime changes, once he and the Maybelline Queen Shady Vance are gone,
Mhm.
and we get a new president, one of the first things the new president will do is issue a presidential order saying that all of Trump's executive orders are null and void.
Mhm.
Number two, I feel that I see tribunals put into place that will, even if Trump is dead, they would still have a tribunal and charge him with the crimes against humanity.
Yeah. Well, and
And
all of his cabinet.
exactly, Kristi
Mhm.
Noem, uh, Pam Bondi for obstruction, cover up. The same with
Excess, Patel.
yes. So
Mhm.
it'll take a while, but justice will be done. But I'm like you, Kevin. I just don't see a long life for him.
Yeah. I will say in regards to this Georgia incident, I actually think it's going to turn into a major, major thing that's going to backfire completely on Trump.
It'll
I feel
completely.
like it opens up massive investigations because they've already told what they're trying to do there. But also, too, if Georgia, I mean, the case isn't active right now, but they were looking into his attempt to take the election and to, um, try to manipulate their election officials to find votes and to cheat. I mean, and then he just goes and takes it all for his own personal gain. I feel like this is actually going to turn into something massive, like a huge scandal. So,
Oh, it will. I mean, it's going to
mhm,
blow up in his face, and the courts are going to say, because he's going to try to use that to go after somebody. But he can play with those records. Oh, you see,
mhm,
I really did win. Yeah, right. Whatever. The election was mine. It was stolen by the Democrats. That's what he's going to try. But I see the courts saying that was gotten illegally,
mhm,
cannot use them, and I see legislation passed where you can't tamper with voter rolls and things like that. And those, how I vote is my business. None of
right.
the governments. And I'm telling you, you're right, Kevin. This is going to be one big doo-doo show.
Oh, for sure. And also, too, what I'll say is I actually feel, I mean, we're starting to see some of the Republicans stand up to him more and more, which we had both been predicting. Um, but I even see a lot of the base really getting pissed off with, I mean, we've been in a constitutional crisis, but now he's talking about taking their guns and people shouldn't have guns out publicly. I mean, listen, we can't protest and peacefully protest or use our First Amendment right without being unalived. Now you can't have a registered gun, um, or you can get unalived. ICE can go and illegally break into your house without a court warrant, um, challenging our Fourth Amendment. No due process with deportations. As I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of constitutional amendments that he's really challenging right now. But
You
I see his base. You talk about taking MAGA's guns,
know,
whether
bingo.
it's Trump or not, we're going to see more and more of them finally just have enough.
You know, when I heard what he's trying to do with guns and what he said, I cringed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about gun control laws,
Yeah, for sure.
all about the right to bear arms, but we don't need assault weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a president who, had the NRA on his side and all these MAGAs, like you said. Oh, the Dems are going to take away our guns. And then once they do that, they're going to come for you. He's doing exactly what he said the Dems would do,
Oh,
taking
yeah.
guns, coming for us.
Mm-hmm.
The hypocrisy of it just
Yeah.
drives me insane. And you know what? He thinks that people are buying this, but they're not. Even MAGAs aren't buying it.
I think we're all just tired of it. And we're going to see it March, April of this year. I'm saying that we're going to have record breaking historic protests, like
Huge.
upwards of over 50 million people out in the streets.
Oh, bigly. But
Hmm.
but numerous ones, frequent
Yeah.
ones. You know, even I never thought I'd say this, but you know, even a lot of MAGA folks will join with the rest of us and say,
Yeah.
this man is insane. So, you know, Lena Rodriguez said something. She said his people aren't going to pull away from him all at once. They'll chip away. They'll pull away, like chip away piece at a time, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Uh, and now Trump is disavowing the MAGAs. He wants the Trump party, the this, the that. You know, right? But back to his health.
Mm-hmm.
Those are small hemorrhages under his skin, and I think he's had a couple of small strokes.
Yeah, me too.
My guides have been telling me for a couple of years. I saw dark clouds around his head area, and that means problems there. We know that,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think it's going to be a massive stroke or something that takes him out.
Yeah. Something significant with the health is coming up, and I actually feel very, very soon. One other thing too, more and more MAGAs starting to turn on him, not support him, but also, you know, you piss off the NRA and a lot of these big corporations. It's not going to be well for you. And I see a lot of the billionaires and oligarchs not happy with what he's doing with the economy too, because I don't see a total crash, but I see it's not going to be great for the economy the first half of this year.
I'm glad you brought up the economy. I want to tell you why. The first time I went to Europe, it was $1.50 American. Not the first time, many years ago. It was $1.50 American for €1. And I think that's when a Republican was office. Yes, it was. And then the dollar gained in value. I remember going to Croatia about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was pretty much even Steven, you know, like even match.
Yeah.
Then last year when I was in Europe, it was like $1.08 American for €1. We were in France in October, it was $1.10 American for €1. I checked yesterday, and it's $1.20 American for €1. What does that tell you? That the dollar is decreasing in value because of inflation, because of his stupid tariffs, and it shows that the euro is gaining strength because those European Union countries and they are making trade agreements to strengthen their own economies.
Yeah.
So, you know, Trump is screwing the goose. You know what I mean? I mean, the American people. So we're already in a recession and already in an inflation. The dollar is going to continue to lose value.
Well, and that brings up a good point too. I actually feel like we're going to start to see the Supreme Court start to piss him off with some of their rulings, like the tariffs.
Right. Exactly.
I see them not saying he does not have the power to do that. Thank you so much, Rose Blue. Appreciate the super chat. All right. So we're going to continue to see more and more resistance vote.
Absolutely.
You know, something else that I saw today too that I thought was hilarious. One of the Republican senators, Tom Tillis from North Carolina, a reporter asked him something about Trump calling him a loser, and he's made a comment like, "Well, then I guess I'm qualified for Homeland Security director or his Stephen Miller's job, the chief of staff. I'm more than qualified for that." So kind of took them all out in one hit.
I saw that, but the thing that still bothers me about that, I mean, as much as I hate to agree with them, I do on the qualifications for the job, but they need to go directly to the source.
Oh, for sure.
For Trump, you wouldn't have the Stephen Millers or the Kristi Noems or the Pam Bondis or the Kash Patels.
Yeah.
So they're talking about Noem, Kash Patel, you know, Hicks, all of that, but yet they're doing it to kind of take the spin, to spin it like so people aren't looking at Trump by blaming everybody else. And I saw in the Bulwark they were saying, wait a minute here, or no, it was Midas Touch. Like, wait a minute here, let's put it where it belongs. You need to be criticizing Donald for allowing it to happen.
Oh yeah, I agree. That's kind of where they don't fully come out. Some of them are, but well, and I'm sure that he probably voted for Kristi Noem to confirm her for that position too.
Oh,
So
sure. And you
I'm
know
sure.
what? I'd be like, how do you like the Kool-Aid since you've drank it? You voted. You put her in this position.
Yeah. Well, and he's such a coward too. He's not even running for re-election, which I'm glad because the Democrat's going to take his seat.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
but like, if you really wanted to stand up and fight for our country and what was right, for the best interest of our company, you'd have a little bit more courage to stay in there and fight. Thank
So,
you, Joyce. Tuber. Oh, we're getting a bunch of super chats. Thank you all. And Lisa,
yep. Lisa Hathaway.
Aries Fire. Thank you all. Really appreciate that, you guys.
Do we put this one up? Yep, we got that one.
Yeah. What do you feel about all of the drama going on with Kristi Noem? I read on this yesterday, and just intuitively, I feel like there is so much chaos and infighting amongst the cabinet.
I was watching MS Now before the show tonight. Ari Melber. I like Ari Melber. He's really smart. And they had somebody on, it's a guy with a mustache, and I can't think of his name, but they were talking about how inside of Homeland Security, like with ICE and all of that, it's a chaotic mess. It's like a bunch of us hitting each other. There's nobody taking charge, and one's saying one thing, one's saying the other. So if Kristi Noem is supposed to be in charge of that, she's not doing a very good job. And she's gonna be in trouble for lying to Congress. Trump has thrown her under a bus once already. Now they're smoochy again. But
I don't know about that.
But don't kid yourself. He will completely throw her under a bus. And I don't want people out there to be fooled by the optics of what Trump is doing. Oh, we're pulling ICE out of Minnesota and we're going to do this. It's optics.
Yeah.
Don't trust a word he says.
Meanwhile, he's sending ICE elsewhere.
Correct.
I feel like there's going to be talk to remove her, but I feel like she's going to either threaten Trump, or if he does remove her, I feel one of his cabinet members getting revenge. Like, she has a lot of secrets there, and I almost feel like she's already told him off. Like, if you fire me or let me go, I'm telling it all.
Becky says, do you want our dollars for super chat? You know what, Becky? My advice is buy euros and hang on to them.
I'm good on dollars right now, but I'll let you know here in the not too distant future what method I prefer.
I feel like Trump would throw Miller under a bus in a nanosecond as well. He will throw anybody under a bus.
Well, when he goes down, and especially if they turn on him, which I feel like there's a lot of division and infighting. Some of them are like Team Vance, some of them are Team Rubio, all trying to come up with some kind of contingency plan because they know he's not well and that this is not sustainable. So they want reassurances. But if they turn against Trump, he's dragging the whole party down with him. And he would do that anyway.
Oh, he would. He absolutely would, in a heartbeat.
Yes,
totally. Did we get the super sticker? If I put it up twice. Oh, Lisa Hathaway, did we get that?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah, thank you all. All right. So we have a bunch of questions here. I know we're kind of ranting and covering a lot of current topics.
Well, we answered a lot of them.
What do you think about? I know we probably have without even looking through them. Some people were asking about a government shutdown, which I was feeling like there might be, but I guess I heard now that they have some kind of agreement so that they have to keep voting until they come up with an agreement for ICE or something.
No, I think that what they did is there was a lot of elements. There was 5 of them. They decided that they would let through so there wouldn't be a shutdown. But then in 2 weeks, they would talk about the funding for ICE.
Okay.
So I think that's how it worked out. But I see ICE losing funding, period.
I'm just so disappointed with with our leadership and our party. I really am. Not that I want, a government shutdown in the sense that people are without jobs and getting paid, but I mean, we need Democrats. They don't have the power to make big change, so you really have to be strategic and fight back, right? We have to meet this moment.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think, I kind of thought there would be a partial shutdown as well.
Yeah.
But in 2 weeks when they're going to talk about funding ICE, the Democrats will stand up and say, no, we're not going
Yeah.
for it.
I think so too, which is why I don't know if there's a partial shutdown or for ICE funding or what, but I don't know. I just
Well,
don't.
this is in the Senate, but I see some people in the Senate that are going to be saying, wait a minute here. You know what? I'm talking about Republicans in the Senate
Mhm.
that'll side with the Democrats and saying,
Yeah.
we are not spending this kind of money to fund ICE. We're not doing it.
I don't
So,
know if it's enough because I think they need 60 votes or 65 votes. I don't think they're going to get that many. I see it being a bit chaotic, but I do agree with you. I see that there are going to be some Republicans standing up, and we're going to see some start to call to impeach Kristi Noem too.
oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, well, that's why Trump is starting to throw her under a bus already. In
Mhm.
case she is impeached. Well, I didn't know what she was doing. I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me, Mr. Trump. The buck stops here,
Yeah.
Uh, um, yeah, I think that's how the ICE thing went. But I still see them losing funding, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I've had people ask if ICE is going to be abolished completely, and I don't see that, but I see massive defunding for ICE
it
once
will
Trump
be
is gone.
abolished. It will be abolished once Trump is out of office. We'll
Mm,
still have Border Patrol, but there'll be legislation where it can never be paramilitarized again like it has been,
yeah,
and never rounding up innocent people like they have been. And I see 2 or 3 justices on the Supreme Court, 2 being impeached, and I see investigations around them. Behind the scenes, my feeling is SCOTUS is starting to realize that whole presidential immunity thing, they open Pandora's box. And
mm,
I feel like they're discussing how do you close the box.
you're right. I agree.
Because
I think we're really going to start to see even the Supreme Court start to put some kind of check in there.
this one, this is a good point. 357 Beagle says 45 seems jaundiced. He always looked orange.
Well, I was going to say, is it John? I'm sure he is probably jaundiced, but that's probably why he rolls in Cheeto dust.
Right. That was a good one.
You should see me.
I just had an idea. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Good.
I'll send our Cheetos to the White House.
I will say my one guilty pleasure is those flaming hot Cheetos with canned cheese dip.
Oh, God.
I feel embarrassed talking about it, but I love how it stains your fingers red.
Well, there you go. We know how
Yeah.
Donald's put that way.
I don't know if it does it with the regular Cheetos, but
I'll have to try it.
my guilty pleasure.
I'll just rub some on my face and I'll look.
There you go. Jeez. Nancy wants to know, she says, I live in Ohio. I'm so worried about ICE brutality next week in Springfield, Ohio, and surrounding areas. Should we be worried about the whole state? The temp protections for Haitians and February 3rd. I hadn't heard of that.
Well, he's going to try the same thing in a lot of cities that he did in Minneapolis. I'm telling you, this thing about him saying he's pulling ICE away from Minneapolis and this and that, he's not doing it because he is limiting ICE. He's doing it for the optics.
Mm-hmm.
And don't trust it. Do not trust it.
Yeah.
Yes, he's going to send them to other places, and there will be, unfortunately, other people injured. But what's
Yeah.
going to happen is those people are going to be coming out en masse. And any city he sends it to, even Republic ones, the people are going to be coming out en masse saying, we do not want this. So everybody is going to be sending him the same message. At least 70 to 75% of us, we don't want this. He has the lowest rating of any president in American history right now.
Yeah.
And it ain't going to get any better. So
I agree. And the cards that I just threw just very much validate what you just said too, Mel.
I mean, anything that he said he was going to do when he ran for president, he's done just the opposite.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have the government coming in here. I hope I'm wrong, but I see more incidents like Renee Good and Alex Preddy, unfortunately, all have a secret plan agreement. You have your ICE agents, the thieves with the masks, coming in, causing chaos. But you know what I see? And I've been saying it for a while, there's this resistance movement moving and charging full steam ahead, and it just continues to grow and evolve and expand. And at some point, it's going to hit a boiling point. And I think that that's these protests that I'm feeling here.
Right.
Because the American people will have their voice heard. We will not be intimidated, or they want us to hide. They want us to be in fear and be to hide, to feel defeated. But people have had enough. It's going to be historic.
You know, at first when right after he was, I want to say elected, because he wasn't elected, he stole the election. But once he was sworn into office, my guides had shown me that people would, and after the first No King's Day march, my guides showed me that people would be marching in mass. And it was like this little snowball, and it just avalanched. And I thought it was because of No King's Day. Part of that, yes. But the bigger part is because what he's doing with ICE. That is going to anger so many people.
Yeah.
And that is the catalyst that are going to get people out there. If people are marching in Minnesota in that kind of weather.
No, negative, like 20, 30 degrees.
Right. Whatever it was.
And 100,000 people at that.
Right. And so guess what? So if they're going to be out there in weather like that
tells you
they're going to be out when the weather is warmer. And in the springtime, in the summer, it's going to be huge. I'm telling you.
I agree. And Barb says, do you see any ICE agents being unalived? I do see some of them being attacked and some of them being unalived too.
I hope that doesn't happen, because that will just give him then the impetus to say it's an insurrection, and then for him to put more ICE people out there.
Well, I think that would give him maybe to like our Kent State situation or martial law that we're seeing too.
Unless they're unalived by an agitator or something that he would be in.
But I also, like I said, I feel like that would be one stand where the military generals would stand up to Trump. You may have a couple that would do it, but I honestly think that would be the end of Trump if he did that.
Well, look at what happened in Minnesota before with the Black Lives Matter, and he wanted to send the military in to shoot people, and his generals said no, absolutely not. Remember when he was holding the Bible upside down?
Yeah.
You know, this is his vendetta against Minnesota. It's his vendetta against most democratic states, cities, or even smaller cities that didn't vote for him. That's what he's using these voter rolls for too. What didn't vote for me? What little areas didn't? I'll send my ICE people in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I was going to say something to that and I just lost it. Sorry. It's all good.
Me, I lose. It's like,
well, and also too, his first term in office, I'm telling you, all of the unrest, they were paid agitators, and you know he's going to do it again because it's an optic and a diversion from the Epstein stuff.
And Jack Smith's testimony.
And his health.
But I see Jack Smith testifying again.
Yes, I agree with you.
I see those. I
The
see
document
what we're
case.
learning, like what they're saying now is that he can't talk about certain things. I see that changed in court, where the court will say he can talk about it, and he will.
Yeah, the documents case.
Right, exactly.
I agree. I've been saying the same thing. All right. So Victoria says retired Lieutenant Colonel Alex Vindman has announced in Florida he's running for the Senate seat. Will it flip blue? Will he win? Let me throw some cards. I don't know about Florida going blue in the Senate. I'll throw some cards, but
Well, Alex, Trump will try to vilify Alex Vindman, but I mean, if he gets out and knocks on doors, and with everything I see coming, have you noticed how Trump hasn't sent any ICE agents to Miami? Because where's Marco Rubio from? Florida, Miami. But I see Vindman doing really well.
He'll get a lot of support and a lot of money. Actually, these cards are pretty good, so I don't know. I'm always skeptical with Florida, though, because they do so much to allegedly manipulate and they do a bunch of shady stuff with their elections. But these cards would say a winner for sure.
If a Democrat were to win as governor of Florida, Trump would have ICE agents in Miami so fast your head would spin.
Yeah. Well, and I think the David Jolly, is he running for governor on the Democrats? He's a former Republican.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the Republican candidate in Minnesota pulled out because he said that if that's what the Republican Party represented, he didn't want any part of it. So
yeah. Can I tell you? I want to know your hits on this, because it's been coming up and I just got hit with it again. I feel like there's going to be another big distraction with Trump causing more chaos, global conflicts. Do you feel like there's something going on between him and Iran? I feel like there's going to be another striker incident.
I've been saying that, yes. The answer is absolutely yes. And that's, here again, another diversion. And that's exactly what that lawyer was saying. I can't think of his name if he was a lawyer, but he was saying that every time we start to focus on Epstein, every time we start to focus on Jack Smith, every time we focus on the issues they should be looking at, he creates some big diversion. And he was saying that he felt that Minneapolis and all that drama was another diversion. And that's sad because it costs innocent people their lives.
Yeah.
Trump will do anything, create any diversion. He doesn't care who lives or dies. He just any diversion to protect himself. And that's exactly what he's doing. So again, don't be fooled by the optics in Minnesota.
Absolutely. Well, and I swear that there's been some inside jobs there too, where people have lost their lives to create a diversion.
I agree.
When he was running for president in Butler, CK, I'm just going to leave it at that. That's my code. So
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said, but
I said Butler incident in Butler.
Oh, I gotcha.
CK.
Right.
So allegedly. All right. Well, we've been on for about 50 minutes. Do you want to do another question, or do we want to talk about our big announcement? What do you think, Mo?
Let's talk about our big announcement. How's that?
All right. I think we covered a lot, even though it wasn't maybe everybody's individual questions. I think we covered probably most of them just through the ranting and banter back and forth. But
well, I think that's kind of where I went with it, because I was starring a lot of them, and I was looking at what the questions were, and so we touched on a lot of the topics, a lot of the questions people were asking.
Yeah. So what announcement are we making, Mel? Do you want to start, or do you want me to do it?
It's haunted. It's spooky. It's history. Haunted history. What do you think, Kevin?
Well, maybe I can pull it up here. I teased at it earlier, but is this the announcement? Gettysburg?
That must be the spooky thing I'm seeing.
Yes. Well,
you
we're very excited for when we've talked about this for a while. I think shortly after we started to work together, I told Mel I wanted to do an event in Gettysburg, but we're going to be doing an event, our Gettysburg Haunted History Experience. And this is going to take place June 18th through the 21st this year. So we're going to be focusing in on, well, Gettysburg is extremely paranormal. Every time I've been there, I've always had something happen. And I have some cool stories. Maybe we'll get into it today or talk about it on another show. But extremely paranormal, and also the history of it too. I don't know. Anytime I go into Gettysburg, you can just feel all of that residual energy from the battlefield. It's almost like you're going into static electricity as you enter the city, which I think amps up a lot of the ghost energy and activity there too.
And one of the things we'll be doing is a tour, a bus tour,
Yes, a
well,
private tour
of the battlefields,
hmm
and it's narrated with the guide. And we will be exploring things like the Jenny Wade house, the orphanage, and we have a few little surprises in store at the Farnsworth house. We will have a buffet there that is included. We'll have a group going into the attic while one group is in the basement for an hour, and we'll have ghost hunting equipment, and then we'll switch. We will go and see a replication of a Civil War surgery.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep. Let's see. We will have a dinner at a haunted. Going to the haunted restaurant is. I mean, that's included, but that dinner isn't. But we will have dinner there. And let's see. Lunch at a haunted pub. So it's going to be very interesting. And we have a special guest coming who we will not mention right now. We have to keep some secrets.
That's something we'll tease you a little bit longer for it.
We'll tease you a little bit longer for that. And what I did, well, it actually was Kevin's idea. And I thought it was a great idea. There's a room in the Farnsworth house that only holds, there's going to be too many of the group to stay there. We're going to be staying at what's the name of the hotel, Kevin?
Well, we have a special rate at the inn on Cemetery Hill. If you want to book there, I think it's 30% off. I can guarantee you it'll be a much cheaper rate than everything else in Gettysburg.
And that's breakfast included. But what we did was there's a room in the McFarland house, the Sarah Black room, and it's very haunted. I know, I've spent the night in it.
Me too.
But we couldn't get that room. So another room is the McFarland room, and they say that's equally as haunted.
I've slept there too.
Yes.
And I can attest.
And you can attest. So what we'll do is we'll break up in tiny little groups. We can't take everybody in through the house because it's just too many. So after, on the 20th, after our Civil War surgical demonstration, we'll break up into tiny little groups, like 4 a piece or 5, and each one will be able to spend 5 or 10 minutes in the McFarland room.
Do a little group activity in there.
Group activity. And we will have a drawing before we leave. And one lucky person will get to spend the night in the McFarland room. Or 2 lucky people. Well, if you're together.
Well, I will say, when I stayed there is definitely a heaviness in that room. I think one of the Civil War Confederate soldiers often visits that room. I didn't see him, although I felt the heaviness in the room. But I will say I heard the ghost cat meowing as I dozed off to sleep. And they don't allow pets in there, so It was not a cat that somebody brought in.
Now, if you win and you just don't want to stay there, there's no pressure. We'll just pull another name. And if that
Yeah.
person doesn't want to, we'll just keep pulling names until somebody decides they want to do it.
Mm.
So, but anyway, you'll get to experience one of the rooms there. Also, in the McFarland house, there's a small dining room. We can't get our whole group in there. It won't hold
The
that.
Farnsworth house.
The Farnsworth house, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But that room in the Civil War was used for an operating room,
Makeshift hospital.
makeshift hospital. So we'll take as we go see the McFarland room. Maybe we can take while one group's seeing McFarland, one can see the
dining room.
Yeah, the dining room. And the buffet is going to be at the Farnsworth Inn Tavern, which is also haunted. Mm-hmm. So everything centers around ghost, a haunted history. Kevin asked me to go there last September.
Yeah, we had a good time.
And I went, and it was an incredible time. Kevin's husband was there, Dan. It was just amazing. Gettysburg is not real big, so everything's in walking distance.
Mm-hmm. It's a smaller town, although the battlefield is pretty large, but
yep.
It's so cool. As much as it is the ghost hunting and the paranormal stuff, which I find to be really exciting, just learning about all the history of the houses, like Farnsworth being a makeshift hospital as well, how resourceful they needed to be, having all the issues too, burying all those soldiers and all of that. So as much as it is paranormal and spooky and all of that, you really get a lot of the history of the Civil War and that battle too.
And I think for a lot of people who in this country, remember when Trump first got in, we should have a civil war, blah, 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 until we start seeing what's going on in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
That's minuscule compared to a civil war. So you realize the horror of the Civil War. How many people, and that's the fields of Gettysburg, how many people died?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's right. They couldn't bury all the dead. And one woman just worked around the clock doing nothing.
She was pregnant too.
Was pregnant. Nothing but digging graves because they were worried about typhus, diphtheria, all the diseases that happen when you have a lot of dead bodies lying around. So it's interesting. It's sad. Yeah. It's spooky. But the flip side of that is we had a lot of laughs. It's interesting. I minored in folklore, and even if I didn't see a ghost, I'm still interested in the stories and the folklore. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating.
So, absolutely.
I'm excited. I'm really excited about it.
It's going to be an amazing trip. It is going to be a smaller group, so it will be smaller, intimate groups. So you'll have plenty of time with Mel and myself, and we'll have a lot of group activities together as well. I will say all of Gettysburg is haunted, but there are definitely some locations that have more energy than others. I'll just share my first time I was in Gettysburg. This was such a cool experience. I feel like I have to share it to hype it a little bit. Me and my husband Dan and my mom went down there, and we went down in like March, so they don't normally get a whole lot of snow. We just drove past it, and they had just gotten a bunch of snow. Now, since it's on the battlefield, the first night we stayed there, we were staying at a B&B on the battlefield. Since it's a national park, they only plow it during park hours. So we had all went out to the Farnsworth house, which we were just talking about, to do some ghost hunting. And so when we were finished and going back to our bed and breakfast, it was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning. It was pretty late. And so on our way back, my husband got his car stuck in the snow because all the wind had blown the snow over the battlefields, over the roads. So we got our car stuck about a half a mile from our bed and breakfast, 1 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the battlefield, trying to push his car out, could not get it. It was stuck. So we had to walk to get to our bed and breakfast. And I will tell you, me and my husband both heard cannons being fired. It felt like a million people were staring you down. I mean, talk about a spooky, eerie experience, but so cool to even just hear like the residual sounds of the cannons being fired.
The adrenaline they were pumping alone melted the ice.
We were walking pretty fast. I was a little bit out of breath, but
All right, I've got to run, Kevin.
yes.
If
I
you
will just say, if anybody's interested in our Gettysburg Haunted History experience, or if you would like more details, after our video, I'm going to post our event flyer. It will have the dates, how to reserve. There's going to be a QR code on there. You can scan it, or if you do a Snapchat and or a screenshot and click on it, it actually will pull up our brochure, which will have our itinerary, all of our details in with that, costs, what's included, what's not. So you can access it that way. And if you're having a hard time with it or you have any questions, you can send me an email at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. It's on the banner below and in the description box. I'd be happy to email it to you. Or you can call Mel's office, 847-590-5411. We'll make sure you get the information. And that's how you'll reserve your spot, is calling his office.
And Kevin did an excellent job on the brochure. He did the little e-brochure himself, which I'd still be working on it 10 years from now.
I can thank AI for the help.
Well, you did a great job. Thank you, AI, for the help. But
yes, thank you, ChatGPT.
So, you know, space is limited. We're only limited to like 30 attendees.
30.
And so
when it's sold out, it's sold out. We did we had people contact us that were interested because we've talked about this for a while, and we already have quite a few tickets booked, so even less than that 30 available. So it's going to sell out fast.
Sell out quick. All right, everybody.
All right, we'll see you on Mel's channel next week, everyone. Sending you a lot of love. Hang in there. Don't give up. We're going to get through this. All right, we'll see you all soon. Bye, everyone.